Hi America, it's time to talk. A lot of discussion coming from the gun lobby after this weekend's tragedy has revolved around if only there had been more concealed carries there, this many people wouldn't have died. Besides being a fallacious hypothetical that is completely counterproductive to the discussion, I want to address an aspect of this. That is, the implicit assumption that if one has a concealed handgun license, or CHL, he or she is automatically a responsible gun owner trained in the arts of safe storage and proficient with their firearm. Now, I grew up in Texas, so it wasn't extraordinary that I got a gift certificate to get my CHL for my 21st birthday. Until this point, the only gun I had fired was my BB gun in my Boy Scout days, so my stepfather took me to the range a week before my CHL class to teach me how to shoot a 9mm handgun. And I have to admit, it was exhilarating and very cathartic. The following Saturday, I went to the range where my class was being held. The morning consisted of a 4-hour class where we watched videos and read some passages. We then broke for lunch and met back up at the actual shooting range. We had to demonstrate that we could take aim and fire one shot. We then had to take aim and fire 2 shots. We were then allowed to empty our magazine into the target and had to show that we could reload our gun and have it fire. The only requirement was that more of our bullets had to hit the target than did not. After the range time, it was time to take the written test. The written test consisted of 40 to 50 multiple choice questions, but right before we turned in our exams to be graded, the instructor gave us all of the answers to guarantee that we would pass. A few weeks later, after passing an admittedly thorough background check, my CHL arrived in the mail. I was then able to walk into any gun store and purchase a gun on the spot because I had already passed a background check. I hope you see the problem here. When it comes time for people to get their driver's license, there are all sorts of proficiency tests and written tests and insurance requirements and eye exams that attempt to make sure that the person is not going to go out and kill people with their vehicle. When it comes to getting a license to conceal carry a gun, which are largely designed for the express purpose of killing, all one has to do is simply show up. This is occurring because when well-intended citizens try to push any type of regulation, and we're not talking about confiscation, so don't even start, the gun lobby hides behind the Second Amendment and buries its head in the sand. That's why we're saying, fine, if you want to cite the Second Amendment, let's talk about the Second Amendment. When the Second Amendment was ratified in 1791, the most powerful personal firearm at the time was the musket. Now, the musket takes on average 20 seconds to reload. To the Founding Fathers, semi-automatic handguns and assault rifles were an out-of-context problem. There was no way they could have imagined such weapons. They were smart guys, though. They knew that the country they were establishing was going to far outlive them. That is why they gave us the amazing gift of being able to amend our Constitution when it no longer reflects the current times. That is why we are calling now for Congress to repeal, replace, or clarify the Second Amendment, because the current state of affairs cannot continue, and we cannot continue to allow the gun lobby to hide behind this amendment. We're now just shy of 500 signatures. That's amazing. However, we will not reach our goal of 100,000 signatures without more people standing up and demanding that we have this conversation. The entire point of this petition is to get started a meaningful, productive dialogue on guns in this country. That only happens if we share our message and engage in conversations on social media. Please share this video. Sign the petition. When your friends express helplessness or despair at the current state of everything, point them in our direction. It's only 30 days. The lives, dreams, hopes, and fears of 49 of our brothers and sisters was extinguished by one person. The gay community has proven to be effective agents of change. We owe it to our 49 brothers and sisters to have this conversation. It is literally the absolute least that any of us could do. It's time to talk.